Hi everybody, this is another Flying Rookie video, and this video is the first video of my DJI F450 quadcopter with the extended heavy lift conversion kit. Okay, I got a nickname for this aircraft, so I'm going to be calling them the F450 Advanced, and technically it's not our F450 anymore. With these extensions that I put, right now it's 580, so it's even larger than the F550 HITEC that I do have. Okay, so I'm gonna do the first flight is gonna be a line of sight. I don't have any other FPV equipment installed over here, though I do have it at home. I got all the equipment at home, but I'm gonna describe it when I start flying. The first thing that I'm gonna do is, before I do the flights, I'm gonna describe why I got in here first. Okay, so for starters, let's start with the motors. The motors that I got over here, they are the RcTimer 4215, and they are 650 kV. These motors, they are designed to work on 4S lipos. The props that I got here are APC 12 by 3.8, and these props, they're pretty large. They got a lot of, truss and everything, so that's why I pick them up. But the nice thing about these motors is these motors, they can work with props all the way up to like 15-inch. So if I wanted to use like a 13 or 14-inch, probably it would work, but then it wouldn't be too much prop wash. The ESCs that I got here are the next level rapid ESCs, so they are SimonK. They are 40 amps, and you're gonna use these big motors. You're gonna need to use, powerful ESCs, so that's why I put these beefy big ESCs for it. Now, as you notice, normally when you buy these motors that are meant to be used on hexacopters and opticopters, they come with long cables, and also the ESC come with the these typical size cables coming out of the ESCs. Normally this frame, when you use the Opto 30 amp ESC with it, it doesn't have this cable, so you just connect the ESC, the motor, straight to the the structure of the ESCs, because the ESCs don't have cables coming out. But me, instead of cutting the cables just to give it that look on the ESCs and the motors, I just put the cables around the arms in a nice looking way, so that way I don't have to cut them, and that's why I did. Okay, so, and it works, it looks nice, and I did it with all the motors. Okay, the arms that I got over here, the DJI arms, they are all black. I replaced the factory arms that I do have, so the arms that came with this, I'm gonna use as a spare for my other F450 that I have on my F550, and they came white and red. So I bought this black one, so it will give it a little bit of the S800 look. Not that I care about the S800, but I like their look. Okay, the flight controller that I'm using is another Wacom. Even you see that I got this really tall antenna pole, just like the one that comes with the Wacom. I'm using the DJI NAZA, and you can see it there. And the top of the NASA, that's the 9-channel HITEC Optima 9 receiver. Okay, the antenna wise, this I purchased like a carbon fiber pole, and they are meant to be used as a RC airplane linkage, and then I just cut it, so that way it's now like 5 centimeters taller than the factory one that's 10 centimeters, so now it's 15 centimeters tall. Okay, so that's why I did, and the reason for that was that I'm gonna put a lot of FPV equipment over here, the OSD, the camera switch, and all the stuff, and I want to make sure the antenna doesn't get any interference from the FPV equipment. Okay, the landing gear, it's the landing legs from Quad Frames, and these people, they make landing gears that are very popular on the 450 and 550 that they are taller than this one, and they got the GoPro gimbal camera mount. But this quadcopter, even if it's a heavy lift, I didn't want to put a big landing gear over here because I already do have that landing gear on my F550. So I just wanted to have a landing gear that will allow me to put two batteries in parallel like I'm doing here. So that way I can get, you know, a lot of flying time. And that's the purpose of this aircraft. I'm not into putting crazy gimbals on any of that stuff. It's just about flying time. So it's a heavy lift, but it's a heavy lift of batteries. The batteries I'm using here are the NANO-TECH 3300 milliamps. There are 25 Cs, and there are 4 cells each. So I got a Y adapter that's parallel. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna keep the voltage the same. It's gonna stay 4S, 14.8 volts, but it's gonna duplicate the amperage. So I'm gonna have more flying time. So instead of the batteries being 3300, they're gonna turn it into a 6600. But I got plans to put two 4000s in here, 4S, that they're gonna weigh just 40. The two batteries combined, they're just gonna weigh like 40 grams more. So it's not a big deal. Let me see what else. I guess pretty much I covered all about this aircraft. So let you just proceed to turn it on and go and fly. But yeah, I forgot one thing. This top plate that I put over here, this is made by the company named Hour, and that's a company that originally used to make a lot of upgrades for the GAUI quadcopters like the 330 and 500. So they start making stuff also for DJI. So I put this top plate over here because I want this to, you know, accommodate the GPS antenna of the OSD and probably accommodate some OSD equipment with double side tape, you know, below. This thing has two purposes. You know, it's for accommodate equipment, but also you can, you know, mount another battery over here. Not that I need to put another battery in the top, but it depends on what aircraft you're flying. You know, it gives you that flexibility. You can put a battery in the top too. But in this case, I just decided just to use it, you know, to accommodate the FPV equipment down there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So let's go and fly. So I got to turn on my radio. Yeah, my radio is transmitting. And just go to the center of the field over here. This is a small field, so like I said, it's gonna be a line of sight flight. All I want to do is just find out, you know, what's the flying time that I'm gonna get with this aircraft, because like I mentioned before, that's what I'm aiming for. Okay, flying time and nothing but flying time. So we just go here. The nice thing about this part is it's surrounded by trees. So even if I go to a part that's like next to the river, or it's a bit larger and more wider open than this one, at least in this case, I'm not gonna get affected by the wind as much as all the parks around the area where I live. And that's another reason why I fly on daytime too, on the morning. It's like around 8 in the morning right now. So okay, that's the connector over here. To make sure I get this thing right. Alright. Okay, the 4 motors are on. I love that landing gear from Quad Frames. It looks so freaking cool. The thing of that landing gear is they don't have it. If you go to the Quad Frames website in the US, they don't have that landing gear in the US website. You have to go to the European website and they sell it there. Now I had to wait for the GPS antenna to acquire the satellites because it's flashing in red. Once it stops flashing in red, that means it got the satellite, so it's gonna be ready to go. Gotta make sure I'm in the right memory too. Yeah, I'm in the right memory. Okay, there's no more red light. Okay, I just put it on altitude mode. Let's proceed to fly this thing. Nice. Let's put in GPS. That's in GPS mode. Okay, I'm not gonna do that much flying around with this thing because I know that much. I know that's good of a pilot. Let me just straight up my GoPro. You know, everything I do I fly on line of sight. I mean on FPV. Okay, I got the throttle a little bit above the middle and just staying there. That's really cool. Just lower it a little bit. Now it's a little bit hard to tell, you know. I mean, I put the black orange for the look, but the problem with that is a little bit hard to tell, you know, what's the front and the back other than the flashing light of the beat sensor of the NASA. But that's okay. Let me just make the screen for the timer bigger. Just 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's nothing. I just hope I can reach 20 minutes with this thing. I know these 4S batteries that I got, because they are so, you know, the C's are so low. I know they're not gonna give me the, you know, the punch that, you know, all the batteries will do, you know, ones with 40 C's or more. So I don't expect to get, you know, like a, you know, super long flying time. I wanted to do probably like maybe I don't know, like 25 minutes or so. Well, if I do 20, I'll be happy. Now, once I put the FPV equipment that I'm gonna put over here, the FPV equipment probably I'm gonna add like another 250 grams, so I know I'm gonna lose some flying time. Well, that's good. Anyway, just to describe the FPV equipment that I'm gonna use over here, I'm just gonna do a walk around. I'm gonna put a Horizon HD camera, and that camera is going to be mounted with a PTC, one of those tiny gimbals that people buy for the airplanes. You know, they got the pan and tilt, but I'm just going to use one servo. I'm not going to use the panning servo. I'm just going to use the tilt servo, so that way I can mount the camera, you know, I can make it look up and down. And that's going to be mounted in one of these tabs over here in the front. But also I'm going to have a second camera mounted in another gimbal like that, and that one is going to be night vision camera, because you can see I got LED lights that they are not working, but the reason I put it is because I'm going to fly at nighttime. I had to make the wiring, the custom wiring for the LED lights anyway. But then again, that's the way I'm gonna mount the two cameras. They're gonna be controlled by this slider over here. You just give it a little bit of throttle because he's just going down a little bit, losing some altitude. So that's what I'm gonna do with this thing. Now the motors, the reason I picked these motors is because there's a guy that I know from Washington State, and he purchased for me a 700 size HEXACopter. It was one of those cheap HEXACopters that you find on eBay. It was ATG 700, and I sold it to him because the motors that I had, they weren't good for that frame. So when he was searching for motors, I did recommend them to get these ones, and And that was kind of a gut feeling thing. I didn't know if the motors are gonna be good or not. I sent him the props. They are the same ones that I got here, the 12 by 3/8, and he built that with a NASA. He put, you know, the same type of ESCs, 40 amps, you know, SimonK, and with one single 5400 4S battery on a HETC that was weighing like 2.6 kilos. He had also a 2-axis gimbal on that. That freaking aircraft was flying for like 17 minutes, and that was amazing. And he was using the same motors that I got over here with the same props. So that's why I decided to, you know, use the same formula but on this frame. Another reason that I built this on this quadcopter rather than do the same conversion on a HETC is because, I mean, it's just a matter of having something that's strange. It's not common, because when you go to YouTube, this, you know, like a dime a dozen. I mean, there are HETC all over the place, you know, like F550s with this conversion, but you don't see a F450. Though they sell, you know, the conversion for both. They got the conversion with the 4 plates for the F450. You don't never see anybody converting F450s. And then you see they got the conversion with the 6 motor plates for the F550. So I say, you know what? Let me leave my F550 alone, and they just do this with the F450. Let's build an aircraft that is going to be designed to fly for a long time on FPV, rather than just build, you know, another, you know, F550 on the block, just like the other ones that they are on YouTube. And that's why I built this. I believe that I did a great job setting up the GPS antenna, the settings and everything, because this thing is not doing no toilet water fed or anything. He just staying there. That's so freaking cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a return to home test. So it's gonna send it away a little bit, but I'm not gonna let it land. I'm just gonna cancel the landing, but I'm gonna let it come down anyway. So let's flip the switch, and the yellow light is flashing like crazy, so that means this thing is gonna do a return to home. Okay, it's going up, supposed to go up all the way up to 70 feet and then come back by itself, just like it's doing right now. It's flying like around 10 miles per hour, and now he just acquired the home position, and then he's gonna proceed to coming down by itself. Okay, and that's what he's just doing right now. It's coming down. You're just gonna cancel it. The way you cancel a return to home is you have to turn off the failsafe and then go to attitude mode, and the return to home is canceled. And you can see I'm in attitude mode because the wind is not blowing. He just staying there. He just staying there like, you know, like he was on GPS mode. So let me just go to GPS mode again, and now he's not gonna drift. He's just gonna stay there. That's really cool. That's so nice to have this feature. Okay, I'm going to reach 9 minutes of flying time. I have to readjust this timing because the timing that I got over here, this memory is a copy of the memory of my regular F450, and normally I set up the timers to go off at this point, but like I said, I have to figure out what's the flying time that I'm gonna get with this, so that way I can set up the timer to go off like 2 or 3 minutes before the batteries dies, and that way if I'm flying FPV, I'm flying far, at least I know that, you know, ahead of time that I had 3 more minutes to bring the aircraft back. Also, I have to do this test again with the old FPV equipment installed and see what kind of flying time I'm gonna lose. I might go down from, let's say I do 22 minutes or something like that. I might lose like 2, 3, or maybe 4 minutes once I put, you know, 250 grams in this aircraft. What I'm gonna do is I wanna land it. I wanna feel the motors and see, since I've been just mostly hovering rather than just flying around, I gotta see if the motors are warm or hot or cold. This aircraft right now is a little bit heavy, you know, for the F450. This aircraft is weighing 2 kilos, but it got big motors, so that's nothing for these motors. These motors are cold. These motors are not doing anything. The motors that I had that 700 that I mentioned before, they were like rocket motors from HobbyPartz, and those motors, they were horrible. Those motors, they were 2220. I think they were like 900 something kVs, and just by hovering for like 5 minutes, those motors, they were overheating like crazy. Those motors, they were designed to be in motion. Okay, oh, I put on attitude mode. Now I put on DPS. I always got the habit of taking off on attitude mode. And giving some full throttle. Let me now just do the test the jaw. That's really nice. Now I'm gonna test the jaw to the cool. Okay, I'm going over 11 minutes of flying time right now. Now let me just lower this thing a little bit. I didn't lower it straight down like most people will do. I lowered it but zigzagging it a little bit to the left and to the right, because when you are bringing the aircraft down, sometimes the gyros, they feel the weightlessness if you're coming down too fast, and then the aircraft start wobble. It's like the gyros, they get all confused. Okay, so I'm like around 11 minutes and 25 seconds. That's really cool. This thing is flying beautiful. Can't wait to do FPV with it. Anyway, there's several aircraft on YouTube that inspired me to build this one. I want to give credit to that people, and I want to mention give a shout out to their channels. The first channel that I'm going to mention is Snoop W111. The guy's from the UK, and he built this homemade white-6 copter. He got the NASA. He's using a GoPro Hero 3, and that guy is awesome. He did recently a video when he rescued another guy that crashed his quadcopter in the top of the tower of a castle, and that was amazing, that video. You know, that guy's getting hits like crazy on that video because of that, you know. And probably that's one thing I'm gonna do with this. I kinda gonna, even if that's not gonna be the main purpose for this, I'm gonna design attachments for this aircraft that they're gonna be removable, so in that way I can, you know, do similar, you know, things like what Snoop did, you know, lifting stuff or carrying stuff, you know, stuff like that. And that's gonna be that's pretty much it with this. So I'm not gonna say, you know, what's the future attachments. I got it already on my mind, but I don't want to give away anything yet. Once I design them and I'm installing, then you guys are gonna post the videos and you guys will see what the attachments are gonna be all about. But the one that I could say that I'm gonna do is gonna be a hook controlled by a servo, so the hook can, you know, do drop stuff. You know, I can carry stuff and just drop it just by flipping a switch from midair. So that's one thing that I'm gonna do with this, and it's similar to what Snoop did with his white-6 copter. The other attachment that I'm gonna build, the other channel that I want to give a shout out is this guy from Canada named HobbyPartz TV1, and he built this quadcopters. He called it HobbyPartz. I love that name. I wish I could take it from him, but I respect him, man. He's my friend. So, but you couldn't get a better name for the aircraft than that, you know, HobbyPartz. And he built, you know, this quadcopters that he put different types of cameras and stuff like that, and that's the reason I want to put different cameras over here, and because of that reason, you know. And he's recently started flying on nighttime, so just another shout out for him. The other guys, and probably this is the most likable guys in the multi-rotor community on YouTube, and it's the Roswell Flight Test. I think that's the name of the channel. It's like two middle-aged guys, and these guys, they got this HETC that is based on HobbyPartz. I think it was the VC 580, I think it was, or 590 HobbyPartz, you know, HETC. And those guys, they're amazing. They built this HETC. They call it the RQ Raven, I think it is. And they even made the HETC waterproof, and that's really cool, so they can even fly under the rain. Okay, I got 15 minutes of flying time. Things are looking good. So that's another of the guys inspired me to build this. Now the thing with this is that I don't care about make this thing. In my this aircraft, I might use it, you know, as a rescue aircraft, I would call it, but it's not gonna be the main purpose of this. You know, I'm not gonna play like, I'm not gonna be one of the Thunderbirds, you know, like, you know, that old puppet show from the UK. I'm not gonna play that game. The main purpose of this aircraft is doing long time FPV flights. That's beyond anything else. That's the most important thing that I want to accomplish with this. Yeah, if I have to do a rescue, I'll do it once I design the attachment for it, but it's not going to be about that. Okay, it's going to be about flying time and about flying it at nighttime, and that's why I put the LED lights in there. Now the LED lights I got over here, they're going to be in different colors. They're going to be red in the back, on the sides, on both sides they're going to be blue, and on the front they're going to be white. And that's why I already got it, just I have to wire them. I have to make the custom wiring harness for it, and I'm going to have a switch that is going to be, I'm going to be able to switch it, turn it on and off from the radio. I already assigned the switch for that. So this one is going to be for the gimbal, and this one is going to be for the lights. And then the 3-position switch over here, that's going to be for the attachments. Okay, so I got, in other words, 3 spare channels out on this receiver, because I'm using 5 to fly the aircraft, because the 5th one is the flight mode. Then the 9th channel, I'm not going to be able to use it because that channel is a mix channel for the failsafe. But other than that, this thing is going to be mostly, you know, a night flyer and a long range night flyer. That's why I'm putting also the night camera. I'm doing 17 minutes of flying time right now. That's really cool. I mean, the day was a little bit brighter. I will fly it, you know, I will try to fly in line of sight a little bit more, but I can see the red arms. This thing flies so silky smooth. That's really cool. It's really, really cool. This thing is not going to be flown aggressively or anything. I do have 2 quadcopters for that kind of task. I got the Flip FPV, and I got my older F450. But this one, my F450 Advanced, this thing is going to be just like the same way I fly my F550. This thing is just to be flown, you know, nice and smooth. I'm not gonna do no crazy, you know, aggressive maneuvers or anything like that. This thing is not for that. Even the motor's got a lot of power. Well, this thing is just about, you know, stay in the air the longest possible time. Kind of, you know, try to accomplish, you know, the same flying time that you will get off a RC airplane that does FPV too. I know some people that build RC airplanes out there. that they stay in the air for like, I don't know, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I guess, you know, like the Skywalker, stuff like that. So I want to do that, but on a multi-rotor. Multi-rotor. Now all you guys see is like a black silhouette because this whole thing is pretty much black all over the place. So I know it's gonna suck a little bit. Wow, 19 minutes and 40 seconds. Actually, I'm gonna go over my 20 minutes. That's freaking cool. It's right there. About to pass 20 minutes of flying time with this thing. Yeah, the 20 minutes of flying time. Wow, man, that's awesome. Let me just check the battery. I still got 13.7 volts, but I know the LiPo alarm is gonna start going off soon. When it reaches 13.6, yep. So yeah, 20 minutes. Let me go down. That's the beautiful thing about these receivers from HITEC versus all the brands. These receivers, if you plug a cable, they got an input, they call it the SPC input, and that's to power the receiver, so it will get power from the main battery. It can take all the way up to 30 volts. But that's the second thing that does, and is that it tells you also the voltage of the battery. That's even more awesome, you know. So you get telemetry without buying the telemetry module. That's something that I'm gonna put over here too, but only for the GPS. Okay, so I did over 20 minutes. I did 20 minutes and 38 seconds. That's amazing, how this battery. So I hope once I get the 4000s, these two 4000s, they're gonna convert this aircraft into instead of having a 6600 like I got now, it's gonna be 8000 when I put the two batteries in parallel, two 4000s 4S. I hope to go probably close to 25 minutes of flying time, and that's gonna be even better, you know, out of this aircraft. And let me touch the motors. Oh, those motors are so freaking cool. Let me just lower my GoPro. So I guess that's pretty much it with this video. I hope you guys like it. I know it was a long video, but it's an aircraft that does a long flying time, so what do you expect? You know, the video is gonna be long, you know. So I hope you guys like it, like I said, and I hope this aircraft inspired you, just like the other people that I just mentioned inspired me to build it, to build something similar, or hopefully something even better, you know, than this. You know, you guys might build something that might do an even better flying time than this aircraft that I have over here. But like I said, I mentioned, you know, already, you know, all the equipment that I have there, so you guys can do a similar build. And you can do something like this, but with the HETC, you know, the F450 you guys like. Okay, so this is very much it with this video. So please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share, and favorite this video. And thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.